Hello? Hello? Can anyone else join the chat? Oh. Okay, Diana, yeah. And Amanda, I can see you're texting too. Uh, okay. Diana, I just sent an invitation to your email, okay? Okay, Amanda, I just sent an email to...
Hello.
Hey, okay, excellent. We've got two people. Okay, Amanda, I just sent an email to...
Hello.
Hey, excellent. Hello? We've got two people.
I can't even see other people.
Okay,
though.
Amanda. Anyone else either? Okay. Amanda, I just sent an email to you. Excellent. Hello? We've got two people. Okay. I can't tell who the other viewers. Oh, okay. Amanda just got on too. Anyone else either? Okay. I just sent an email to Jen. I'm guessing Jen might be one of the people viewing. Hello? We've got two people. Okay. I can't tell who the other viewers. Oh, okay. Amanda just got on too. Anyone else either? Okay. I sent an email to Jen. I'm guessing Jen might be one of the people.
Oh my god. I have like 2 minutes.
Okay. I can't tell who the other viewers. Okay. Amanda just got on too. Anyone else either? Okay. This is insane. I'm guessing Jen might be one of the people.
I have like 2 minutes.
Okay. I can't tell who the other viewers. Diana, Jesus Christ. Okay.
It's like I was getting it twice, so I had to exit out of something. Okay.
What was that?
Jenna.
Okay. Jen Ochoa is messaging me.
Okay.
They heard your cat noise.
You see me waving?
I see you waving.
Cool.
What are you eating? A banana?
Pears.
Get over here.
Oh, here comes Luna.
Okay, whoever. Okay, there's 0 viewers, so everybody is on the chat. There's 1 viewer.
Me?
I don't know. Whoever the viewer is, I want you to email me at dwhite90@gmail.com.
Wait, who's the viewer though?
I don't know. It could be just someone from the internet.
It might be me. I'm not sure. Who knows?
I only see you two.
Yeah, me too. Party up, Becca.
Oh no, it's Christy Kingham. I just see the email. Okay. Christy, I just emailed you a new link. Please try clicking that.
You stop it too.
Enough with the humping, please.
Okay, hello!
Are you guys there?
Yes!
How does this work?
Hey!
Can you see me? Is it working?
Yeah, it's working, we can see you.
Woohoo! I was just texting with Kyleene, and she and Bob were going to, like, surprise join us.
Oh,
Except then she said she's already in her pajamas, so she's not doing
I'm in my pajamas.
That's fine.
I know.
Yeah, with no judgment
So
zone.
I think they're, like, hanging out and drinking wine instead, which I also said they could do.
Yeah.
It works.
All right. How are you guys?
Hey,
It's like I just
Good.
would come over to your school after school, and we could have had our, like, hangout at your school.
Yeah.
This is like good technology. Next year, we have to do some sort of program. Oh, it says Molly has joined.
I'm
Molly.
in.
hello Molly.
I found my way in. Thanks, Doug.
And Christy said she's on her way, too. She's on her way. She said she's on her way. So I have a few questions for us. First of all, how much did you love this book? How much are you going to use it? What are you thinking of?
I
Anybody
love-
want to jump?
I love this book more than anything. This is one of my favorite professional development books.
Oh,
And
really?
I want to make my entire staff read it.
I think that you are a force of nature and could probably get that done.
I mean, we've been using it in our class extensively with
Yeah.
reading UZLA. So it's had, like, the 5 nonfiction signposts has gotten our kids to, like, really comprehend the nonfiction articles that we read in class. So that's great.
And we're about to start like a civil rights investigation kind of a thing, civil rights movement investigation, in like as a mini unit before reading Brown Girl Dreaming. Like we're starting the afternoon of the test, so this will be great to really use full class with that.
Yeah. I haven't used the signposts yet in class. I've still focused on the big questions, but I've used the activities in the back of the book extensively, especially the poker activity.
Have you ever read When Kids Can't Read What Teachers Can Do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, some of those are from there. You know what I was thinking? That one. I wish that Kyleene was on this chat right this second. I want to like record it all and show it to her. The one that was called the syntax surgery or whatever, that strategy where they like moved the sentences around. It's on page. Let me find it. I was
page 210.
210. I was confused
slow down.
exactly about how to do it. I'd love it if someone tried. I guess I could try it too. Someone tried it to say like how it works. But you know what I thought would be cool with this? You know how those stupid test questions ask us like, how does this 4 words in this paragraph develop the idea 17 lines later? So this syntax surgery might be helpful for that.
Definitely.
I mean, I think, that's something I've always done with antecedents, and I've always done with finding, like, persuasive words, like language that is opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my kids are paraphrasing right now, so I'm having them pick out what words tell you the opinion's being strengthened as opposed to just stating information.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
And it's
Christy.
similar to kind of hunting.
So Molly, have you tried this yet or not yet?
Well, I took from it because I'm kind of always in process. You know my story. So I take it, I read it, and I apply it with what I'm doing, but I haven't really done a full unit in any way.
Yeah, me neither. I want to try this. I can't wait till this stupid freaking test prep is over so we can do like actual real work. I just think it might be a good one for them to like do a better job with language. Also with kids who are emergent bilinguals. Christy, we're talking about the strategy on page 210, 209, syntax surgery.
Oh, yeah. I left my book at school because I did a PD on it today, but I know everything that you're talking about because I did a PD on it today.
Doug started this by saying he wants to have the whole staff read this book.
Yes. Everybody.
Mm-hmm. What did your staff say about the book, Christy?
So the way I approached it was I was doing a lunch and learn, which is just like, I don't know if you guys have that kind of stuff. It's just a period and or 5 periods during the day, and everyone came. And so I was just doing nonfiction strategies across content area as a blanket, and I used Thomas Newkirk's Mind Meets for Stories and the book that we're using. I just talked about what I'm thinking around nonfiction in general right now. Mm-hmm. So that was my way in, and then I just kind of made them copies of the first page of each of the signposts, some of the philosophy, and then each of the signposts' first page as a teaser. And I had
like those amazing charts
posters? Yeah. Those. Jen, my friend Scott, who has met you, said, Jen Ochoa, I know her. So your fame goes on. But I was excited because 2 math teachers and a couple of science teachers found the signposts to be useful. Like they were already thinking about how they can help their students annotate both questions and their content readings using them. And they were then asking me, well, wait, how do I do this? And so I just made copies quickly for them of the ones that they chose. The syntax one, a math teacher picked, and she applied. Oh my God!
Amanda is getting attacked.
Sorry. Everybody get their dog right now.
My dog hasn't gotten dropped off from daycare yet.
Oh.
They're actually outside, and I was like, I can't use this door. I don't know where Pam is.
That's so great.
Yeah, Dobby is that intense.
I can't wait.
She was humping my leg too, so if the computer's shaking.
So anyway, the math teacher applied the syntax surgery to math problems, like to equations, and there was a really difficult one she was doing later that day. She was like, I'm going to try it with a couple of kids. So she was already playing with it. I was really excited.
That would be really smart in a word problem, of course. For owls particularly.
Oh, that is really smart. They had this, our assistant principals had this harebrained idea that the English department should teach the math department how to do some reading strategies. So I wish I would have known this one at that time. I'm going to forward that on to people.
Yeah, I can even ask her to give me her example if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, send that out to the group.
And Rachel said she's going to start a Google Drive kind of folder for us for all our stuff. Yeah, the thing on Google where we put crap. No one needs technical names for these things.
You
Google
did
is
the thing.
technical.
You did
Google
the
is a technical enough name. So other than syntax strategy, is there anybody else who? Oh, hi Linda. How are you?
Hi.
You made it.
Yay.
Yeah, across many platforms.
We were all trying to figure out how this worked.Ug is going to have to give us a tutorial because this is kind of cool.
It just
Or
barely
Christy.
worked.
What?
Yeah.
It just barely worked. The first 5 minutes. It was
The first 5
Diana
minutes
and
of
Amanda
everyone going,
walking.
"Are you there? Are you there?"
Yeah.
Well, my stupid DOE computer kept blocking me too. Like, allow and remember forever that Google Hangouts is okay. Like every 2 seconds.
So the one of the questions I have is, does anybody have any strategies that they're going to use immediately in their classroom, like within the next unit of from the strategy section, or that they're sharing with teachers?
So everyone at my school is using Somebody Wanted But So right now, like anyway, because a few people went to, I forget the name of it, some writing workshop and came back, and so it's all the rage. Somebody else just did a workshop on formative assessment, and he had that as one of the options, and then it's in the book too. They were all like, why is everyone talking about this? So a bunch of people were already using it, specifically a social studies teacher. Said for middle schoolers she really enjoyed that.
It's on the list of 52 or 53 CFUs that get handed out a lot. That's how come, yeah.
That makes sense.
We're going to start next Tuesday afternoon after the test, because that's the day we're starting our civil rights unit, provided with the no timing. They're finished at some point with the exam. Maybe people just test all day. I don't know. Kids are dropping like flies with their opting out at my school, I gotta tell you. So I think I'm trying to find, Molly, you might know this. Actually, anybody, this would be a good thing for like a hive brain kind of thing. We're looking for some sort of video that just to introduce the civil rights movement to watch on Tuesday afternoon. So that they, they're not reading something else after reading all morning. I was thinking Eyes on the Prize, but it's not streaming anywhere that I could find.
No.
Does anybody else have any streaming ideas?
I mean, how long do you have to show them something?
I guess it depends on how long they take the test.
Okay.
Probably like 45 minutes to show a clip, half an hour. So we could do it more than one day.
Do you want it to be like the beginning, or it's any particular point, or setting it up? Is there a time frame? Or I can talk to you separately if you want, because I do have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, let's do a second. We just, they think the civil rights movement and the Civil War are the same thing time, because 65 and 65 and civil, and they're 13. So I think just a good introduction is something good. But I thought this KWL 2.0 would be a good one for us. They start to get information. Is everybody else's screen frozen right now?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not frozen. It was just not showing you.
Yeah.
You were sort of, gone.
Like,
Now,
all of the people, all are frozen for me.
No, you're now Diana.
Oh, nope. Nope. Never mind.
Nope, you're unfrozen, including myself in an incredibly unflattering
You
way.
are totally frozen. Diana, I can see.
I don't know. Anybody else jump on in?
Ben, you've got to stop this with the technology. This is insane. Only one.
What?
There you are. It's your vibe.
It's okay if you're frozen. Just keep telling your beautiful stories.
That's my beautiful story. We're going to use KWL 2.0.
Awesome.
Anybody else using something pretty quickly?
I wanted to use the genre reformulation. We're doing Romeo and Juliet next, which I'm gonna be honest, is like my least favorite book of the year. Mainly because it is always so I still haven't figured out how to like effectively do the language besides showing them plus the Baz Luhrmann version with Leonardo DiCaprio. But I want to use the genre reformulation to like at least to help cement some of the facts of the story for the kids and help them like keep things on track.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay, I can barely hear anybody. Should I just refresh this?
Refresh it.
Yeah.
Refresh it.
Refresh or go away and come back. Can you tell I've done a bunch of these? I'm like, oh, here we go.
I know. Stephanie disappeared the other day.
Is there anything that people didn't love about the book? I was asking my teachers this today. I was asking the teachers this today. Is there anything that you're like not sold on?
I mean, we talked about this last time. I'm not sold on the names of the signposts because they're at least the contrast and contradiction is too close to
you guys all sound like
the literature ones.
Yeah.
So I had an interesting moment because Priscilla had taught the signpost for literature, and one of the same kids in my class doing nonfiction sort of annotation and reading, all of a sudden he goes, "It has to be contrast and conflict," and I'm like, "What?" And I understood why he said it, but I could see where that crossover might be confusing. So that's the only thing I know about it. I just had to kind of say we're going to look at it from this angle. It was not a big deal. It was fine.
Yeah.
But he was so excited because he had so internalized the signposts.
Exactly.
Good.
Jen, did you get the opportunity to ask Kyleene why she had used the same name for the signpost twice? Or never mind.
Jennifer? Oh, she's gone.
She's gone.
We could pretend that we know her answer. So one of the things that happened in my PD today was there was a middle school humanities teacher, and she was like, "Can you just give me the strategies?" Because I was doing the philosophy thing, and my whole stance was we need to talk about what our philosophy is around nonfiction because it's a reality in all our life. Like no matter what, it's a good reality, but we all need to be able to know how to help kids access nonfiction and make it interesting for them and use more narrative nonfiction. And so that's kind of what I was talking about. And she was like, "Can't you just give me the strategies and I'll go and I'll try them?" And I was like, no. So all of this philosophy helps you to understand why you're using the strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just feeling like people don't have time to stop and read like we have. And I'm grateful for that, but also it makes me nervous. Like I don't want you just to take a strategy and do it and not really know why you're using it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a really good point. I think that's kind of a mindset these days with so many people throwing new things at us all the time, that the younger teachers in particular, or maybe more overwhelmed teachers, are like, just give me whatever you want me to do and I'll do it. And I think that's true, actually. That's really true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's actually exactly. I was talking with Diana today during one of our meetings about what she's taken from people. Yeah, Diana, do you mind if I talk about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about like what actually taken from, and the last month, the last 2 months, we made a really huge effort to give as many concrete strategies that they could take back to their classrooms right away. And so, I mean, really, what I've been seeing is a lot of the teachers just experimenting with so many different strategies, finding ones that feel organic to them, or that they feel like they work with their class.
Sorry, Jen was texting me. She's trying.
I see 2 Lindas on the screen too.
I do too.
Okay.
Linda, can you talk?
Unmute.
Oh, cool.
Now?
Yeah, we
Hi.
can hear ya.
Hi. My camera? No.
Okay.
Ugh.
So, will you just repeat what your question was since we got sidetracked by, or what you're noticing was?
Me?
Yeah, sorry.
No, yeah.
I got sidetracked by Jen texting me.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, what Diana and I talked about during one of our meetings today was that a lot of the first-year teachers, a lot of first-year teachers just want as many strategies as
Right.
possible to take back into their classes. And the last about 2 months of professional development, we've been trying to give as many concrete strategies, like here you can do this and you can bring it back to your classroom right away. And so we've seen a lot of teachers across disciplines experimenting with all of these things and keeping some of them, not keeping others. And it's, at least that process has been really cool to witness.
And so far, since I started experimenting with the 3 big questions in nonfiction signposts, the humanities teacher took it on, and the science teacher took it on as well. So it's like the 6th graders understood that's not just ELA that we use in nonfiction signposts, but it can be used in every class possible with a nonfiction text, which is nice too. It's not just ELA.
Hi, you guys.
Hi.
I'm glad to hear that from your perspective too. I just get so worried. I don't want it's. I guess you only learn by trying.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of what you're saying. So as long as you're reflecting about it, it makes perfect sense.
I feel like that happens a lot with teaching, though. You do something for a while because you hear or someone tells you this is a good thing to do. But the reflection, the understanding about why it's a good thing comes after a while. At least that's what's happened for me.
We're kind of, Priscilla and Allie and Jane and I are reading a book that's going to inform the summer program this year, and it's a newish book by the National Writing Project, and it's called Pose, Wobble, and Flow, and it's about how we have our things that we do in our classroom that feel comfortable, and we do them, and we may or may not know why we do them, but then we have that wobble that's our tension, and really moving into the wobble and accepting it and living in it. Oh my gosh, Amanda, I love that you just threw the ball. You're go far away. Don't come back.
Wobble and flow, or toes wobble and flow?
Pose, as in a yoga pose. I think that might even be that, Doug. Pose, wobble, and flow. I haven't started it yet, but it looks pretty brilliant because it's about how you can't get to the flow unless you live in the wobble. So, kind of cool.
That is cool.
That's what we tell the kids.
It's true. Just wobble your way through it, friends.
Yeah.
Any other wonderings or tensions people have? I'm looking at my little list.
I want to know what the next book is going to be. That's my wondering. But also, Jen, I'd asked before, were you able to talk to Kyleene to figure out why she called the signpost, the contrast and contradiction signpost, the same thing in both literature and nonfiction?
No, but I'm going out to dinner with her tomorrow night, so I'll ask. And you could we were hoping that she was the big surprise was going to be we were going to do a little special session on Saturday afternoon with just all of us who read the book in our book club and Kyleene. Except she has to leave to go to Newark Airport because she has to go to some far away place in Canada by Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
And she can't stay for very long. But I was going to have you guys ask her, so I'll ask her tomorrow night.
Awesome.
We'll have her come and sit at a little table with us if she has time. We can all hang out with her and meet her. She's very gracious and very gracious.
I'm excited to see her on Saturday.
Yeah, me too. I think she's going to do a good job with this conversation about nonfiction.
What were you going to say, Jennifer?
Outside looking in.
Who's talking?
That was Linda.
Oh, okay. I see you.
This is so entertaining, everybody.
We're all like just kind of moving. And I also want to suggest to her, what did we come up with? Dropped name dropping for the instead of quoted words. I thought that was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what we came up with last time, Molly. We said instead of quoted words, we were going to call it name dropping because then it would be about like any time they mention another person.
Yeah, I kind of sort of figured. That's why I went, oh, because I was figuring it out. I was pretty cool. I was right.
I have written down here the anchor question. So we said anytime you would stop and notice and know anytime a person's name is mentioned, and you would ask yourself, why is this person mentioned, and what's important about them, and what they have to say.
I mean, that I actually make the kids annotate that in these articles we're reading because otherwise they just quote them.
Right.
Mr. Title said.
Yeah. Randomly. Mm-hmm.
So that would be cool. I could call it. Well, I'll wait till she copyrights it.
I think we can just go ahead and do it. I'll make a different poster for it.
Yeah. I'd like for you to switch up perhaps your handwriting a little bit next time.
No, that's my signature.
Maybe write in script?
No, that's my signature. My signature chart writing.
No.
It's your font.
It's my font. It's the Ochoa font.
The Jen. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of the I was definitely wondering about, or like, and I've still been wondering about, is how introducing the signposts looks different or similar depending on what subject they're being introduced in. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, you know, the strategies give alternatives to, like, you know, here's what it looks like in social studies, here's what it looks like in math, here's what it looks like in blah blah blah. But I'm still curious to see whether, I mean, as to see how it looks different, the signposts look different in different subjects. Mm-hmm. And how, because I mean, for this, it seems like for this to really work and to really like have a huge impact, you need a whole school or at least a whole grade team to get behind it. Yeah. And I'd like to see some kind of ideas or strategies for starting these conversations as to how these signposts can be used across classes and introduced at the same time across classes, or or just how to introduce them across subjects.
And also, like, how to get buy-in from people who don't normally teach reading strategies.
Exactly.
Because I feel like oftentimes science and social studies teachers are very much like, content. And it's not like we don't have content in English.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I was talking a lot about modeling today with them in terms of annotation. Like, I was trying to just connect all the dots with like the language we already use and what is being mentioned in, or what's being tackled in the book. And a couple of teachers were just like, oh, I don't model how we read that science reading, or that was an art teacher actually. She was like, oh, I've never thought to model, and I just, like, it's such a norm for me. I didn't even think to back up that far to talk about how is it that you read your content area text, which is like another story, but it is what they did.
Well, and I think they probably don't think about how you, like, what are the different things that happen in a person's brain or that a person needs to do to read in the different contents.
Yeah.
Right.
Doug, are you getting any pushback at all from content teachers? And Kyleene always says, I will say this, that she hates it when we call it content teachers because English teachers have content teachers, math and science.
I mean, I really haven't gotten much pushback. I mean, I've not introduced the signposts to the school. But we did the 3 big questions, and those were really liked across disciplines at the school, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
However, when I tried to start this three big question conversation with the high school, they really pushed back.
What'd they say?
They were just like, oh well, there are better strategies for my content, or they did the thing where I'm not necessarily a reading teacher, or I don't actually teach reading.
Yeah, if they read in your class, you're a reading teacher.
Exactly. Everybody's
It's pretty basic.
Yeah. I don't know, but middle school has.
That's so funny that that's still a thing.
I know.
Yeah, just had that conversation a month ago. Same one.
Mm-hmm. Molly, how do you think these signposts will work with emergent bilingual kids?
I think they're absolutely necessary. Annotation is critical for ELs because they don't understand. So the best thing we can do is teach them how to do the rereading, the looking, the hunting, what to look for. I just think you go one at a time. You really go in and spiral it and you let it seep in or exit out. And then that's how you do it. You get the first one, they get it solid. Then they can use it in all the classes. Because the kids do tell me they're annotating in history and they're annotating in their science. And Priscilla and I have both been working on it.
To inform the teachers about how to do that?
The history teacher was open to it, so he has been sort of thinking what we're doing. He's not doing notice and note, and neither am I actually officially. I'm using, and even Priscilla's doing it using the concepts but not the notes as far as recently. But we took those ideas, and he's doing the same thing. He's following the same, like more in the nonfiction, what they're looking for. And identifying why is someone there, why is it important, all of that's there, although that you just made up. But that's one of the things that he took directly from me.
That's cool.
But yeah, I think Elle's just one of the tournament.
Oh.
What just happened?
Doug disappeared.
Doug joined multiple times.
Yeah, I did.
The many faces of Doug.
Sorry, my computer was. I was afraid my computer was getting too low on battery, so I tried doing it on my phone, but the microphones were too close to each other, so it got all that static sound.
And what about the littles in your team teaching class, Diana and Amanda? Is it helping the special ed kids?
Yeah, they really like hunt. For some reason, they really like hunting down the signposts. They were like so much excitement and like
shouting one day.
It was like
signpost.
Like, oh, I found one. Like, no, that's not it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, you guys. But I was surprised how long it took to teach the signposts. It took I taught one a week, and then the word gaps and contrast and contradiction, I stuck them together.
Yeah.
I did word gaps during test prep because I thought that was one they could take right in with them to the test.
Yeah, I did notice one of the kids using the annotations on a fiction text.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, that's a different book, you guys.
Yeah. So we'll keep doing.
Like, good try, but no.
But I like the word gaps. He was like, I don't know this word, but so I put the W, and I'm like, yeah, do that.
That's really funny. I like when they get enthusiastic about something like that.
Yeah. It's been really nice having the consistency that Diana talked about before, because with the self-contained kids, the humanities teacher and I both use it, and so they're always like, oh yeah, we did this in humanities today, and I was like, great.
They can predict it.
They need that reinforcement a lot.
And then Miss White, the science teacher, is also doing the 3 big questions as well, so that's really nice.
The self-contained kids just have a different science teacher, so they don't. She doesn't necessarily do it. That science teacher, but.
So the whole middle school is going to do it.
All of the ELA teachers have done it.
Started.
Yeah, and I think almost. I think all the humanities teachers too.
Doug, did you guys read the first Notice and Notebook at all, or you haven't read that yet?
I've read it.
I haven't.
I've
I've
read it.
done the yeah. Diana, yeah.
I like how Diana keeps doing show and tell.
No, yeah. I read it and introduced the literature signpost to my 9th graders. However, I haven't used that in professional development. I mean, I've used like strategies and stuff at the end, but I have not introduced that in professional development.
They used the fiction strategies when they were writing too. They were trying to put in like again and again into their narratives, or they were trying to put in, it was actually really hilarious when they were doing their writing groups. They go, I think you need like a Words of a Wiser in here because no one can. And I was like, yep, there you go. Get a little professional fancy language, and you're a writer.
That's so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
so did you tell them to use the signposts as they were writing, or was that, or
No.
or was it just something that felt natural?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So we were doing narrative. It could be fiction or nonfiction.
Yeah.
They had to write a narrative, and I used my we were having them do a storyboard, and my storyboard about the door slamming and my dad taking the door off the hinges. So it's like the one I always use. So because that's on my computer, I use that one to introduce like how to do the storyboard. And they were talking about my storyboard, and one kid raised his hand and he said, well, you've been again and again there because she kept slamming the door, and every time you slammed the door, you got in trouble. And so that was giving us like an idea about what your conflict was going to be, and we were wondering how it was going to get solved. And then somebody else said, it was also a contrast and contradiction, because usually when you get grounded with something, you don't get grounded from like a part of your house. And so they, on their own, around my storyboard, started to use the signposts to talk about how I had written my storyboard. And then I said to them, should we put that into our writing strategies that you might want to use in yours? And they said, oh yeah, that's a great idea, because then I know I have a good story. So they kind of did it on their own. I'm not smart enough to think of that. They are.
No, but that sounds like such a fun project.
Well, it's also like giving them writer's craft that they're already familiar with.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Don't say symbolism, but say again and again.
So I like everything that you're talking about keeps reminding me of Minds Made for Stories, and I know I talk about it all the
that's so
time.
brilliant.
You just that book. So I mentioned in our first session. I don't know if all of you guys have read it or are familiar with Thomas Newkirk's book, but I would be really interested for us, if anyone reads it, for us to have a conversation about the connections between the two texts, because I also would love to talk to Kyleene about this if she's read it. Because there's some of his theory kind of like would push them in their definition of nonfiction, in thinking about like narrative, and the way that our minds are, and like as humans when we were born and forever after, we make sense of the world through story, no matter what, like there's a story happening right now with our Google Hangout, but even little kids, once they start to understand causality, that's when their brains are really jumping and leaping in development. So it's like Jen told me about it, of course, over wine one night.
It's true.
But it's
I might have
fascinating.
even had it in my bag and gone, read this.
I think you did.
Wait, I'm going to get it so you can see.
Oh, yes, please do. It's also with my other book at school. I'm so tired. But I would be so interested to hear, after studying this, the Beers and Bob's text so closely, what you guys think about the connections. And there's so much content area stuff in there too. There's a whole really interesting section about reading in math class that I copied and put in the hands of every single math teacher today. Like, hey,
I mean, actually, when I taught 8th grade, that was something I worked with the kids on, reading math.
This book, Thomas Newkirk.
Thank you, Jen. What What were you saying, Molly? Oh, reading math
Well, I
problems?
was just saying we did that. I did reading strategies. I actually did the syntax. Actually, I did. It's just coming back. I did the syntax stuff with math problems when I taught 8th grade before the test because they were struggling so much. So it was then actually, and I just said, oh, I'll do some work with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it really did help them.
It helped them be able to figure out what they needed to do.
Yeah, it means they went in having a strategy, sort of what the signpost does. When they know what they're searching, like Diana was saying, oh, I found one. Like, it gives them a goal, a focus, and the whole thing doesn't overwhelm them, right? They know, oh, I'm going to find this in here, and I'm going to look for this. And then it becomes less overwhelming, I guess.
Well, it gives them some power, and that's like our kids walk around with so much confusion all the time, not knowing where to start.
Mm-hmm.
So it just gives.
So,
Reading the words and being like, oh.
yeah, I know, they're totally confused all the time. That's why I love stuff like this, because it helps them, like, let's say you teach all the signposts like you guys did, and then they remember 3 or 2. It's 2 more ways to understand what they're reading than they had before.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that part of it a lot.
And that going back to the strategies idea too, or just I guess signposts and strategies, like the more that you are considerate of providing them those opportunities, like it's either take it or leave it. Like you don't have to throw a ton against the wall, but because that would be overwhelming, and then they wouldn't be able to access anything. But I think just giving them different ways of interacting with text, like what to your point, is super essential.
Mm-hmm. So, what would, if you can ask Bob and Kyleene anything, what would you like to ask them? I'm going to take notes.
This is a real thing. This is real. It's not if. You would.
Yeah, you can. You're going to meet her in like
I'm not playing the
48
what
hours.
if game.
What would you like to ask Bob and Kyleene?
I want to ask if what their take is on Thomas Newkirk's Minds Made for Stories. If there's any, if they found any connection or attention for themselves.
I mean, I'm still curious as to why, why they call those 2 signposts the same thing. I'm also curious what signposts ended up getting cut out.
Oh, I can tell you that.
That's a great question, actually.
I actually can tell you that. But they're not from the nonfiction book. They're from the fiction book.
Yeah.
They had 13, and then they cut it down to 9, and then they cut it down to 6. There was one called Mind the Gap.
Yeah.
And Mind the Gap was about, I think it had to do with, like, you know when you're reading and then there's like the ... and then there's like a gap in time? I think it had to do with that, if I remember correctly. And then there was one called Uncovering the Cover, and it had to do with not just the cover but the title, and that sometimes when you're reading, in the novel, the actual title shows up somewhere in the text of the novel, and that tells you something important about the main idea, the theme of the story.
That's something else I'm actually really curious about. How do Kyleene and Robert teach theme?
So I've taught theme using her stuff a lot, and I think she'd probably agree that this, like, we've talked about it. You know, in when kids can't read, how there's the most important word?
Yeah.
Okay. So we teach the kids that there are these big idea words, which are basically like thematic words. And when we first teach it, when we're reading Stargirl, we come up with 5, and we say these are the 5 most important words. And they're like, choice and responsibility and conformity, and I don't remember what all 5 of them are. And throughout the whole text, we keep saying to them, okay, now what do you think the most important word is and why? Now what do you think the most important word is and why? And we do the most important word paper, and then we say the theme is the most important word plus the lesson about the most important word. That's how we always do it. And I think she came up with that most important word paper for that specifically. What's I mean, maybe she has to say something. Did she read the book when it was this? Is it a he or a she?
It's a she, and she's stepped on the book a lot as it's been on
I
my
don't know
bed.
what she's doing when she's at home by herself. She might be a literacy teacher.
Who knows? Who knows?
Okay, how do they teach theme? What else?
Do they need high school teachers to focus on for their next book? Don't write that down.
Good.
Do they want a high school teacher's chart paper handwriting?
Nope, I got that corner covered.
I wish you could see my face, so let me just reset myself. There I am.
Oh.
I'm back. I kept freezing. Okay, please don't ask that.
Okay. How much wine do I have to drink with her tomorrow night before I ask that?
Okay, yeah. So my really cocky younger sister teacher friend.
Yeah, she wants to know if she can get in on the bottom floor of the next book.
That's all I ask. Upper high school students. I'll give her everything she needs and wants.
Anybody else have any questions?
No.
Doug wants to know what's the next book.
Yeah, I do. And if we can all get like pre-release copies.
Or signed copies.
Yes.
You can bring your books with you on Saturday. She'll sign them.
Excellent.
I have to tell you, I've never had a pre-released copy of the book. I don't know that they have them. They kind of all get them at the same time.
Have you asked?
I usually get one of the first copies, and it's almost always the week that it's released.
I mean, even if we can get it like a day or two, that would still be cool.
That would still be cool.
Yeah.
If she came to your apartment and said, "Here's your copy, Doug."
Well, I mean that might be a little bit too much. I just wanted a day or two early.
Okay. Well, have you ever seen her speak in any of her videos?
No, actually, I haven't.
We gotta go on Heinemann.
Yeah, go on Heinemann because they talk. They're both on there. I think there's a series of like 9 videos about all the signposts. They're good to use in PD as well.
Awesome.
And I mean, she's from Texas, so once you hear her talking, you will forever read her books in her voice.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's very true.
I do want to, I mean, if I talk to her, I'll get to say this, but I want to thank her for doing this work. Like, when I sat down to do my PD today, the first thing I said is, this amazing human, or these amazing humans did all of this work for us. And it's incredible what they did. So, and it's not lost on anyone who reads the book. So I know that's cheesy, but it's true.
It's a lot done simply. It's pretty amazing.
Did any of you see on the Facebook page this week that Allison Jackson, the person who's the moderator, administrator of the Facebook page, the Facebook group hit 10,000 this week. 10,000 teachers across the country are using the signposts and the work of, I mean, like, what the heck? We're going to have some kick-ass readers in about 15 years. No one will be voting for Trump in 15 years. They'll be able to read critically anything posted on social media.
So crazy.
I know. And in the last few minutes, I just wanted to ask, I had this down. This is the first time we've tried book clubs I think they had book clubs in the 90s at the writing project, at our writing project. Did you guys like it? Would you be interested in doing it again?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We were kind of thinking, the four of us were kind of thinking, it would even work if there was like a book a season. Like you had like one in the fall for 2 or 3 or 4 sessions, one in the winter for 2 or 3 or 4 sessions, and a thinner book could just have a couple sessions, so it wouldn't be quite as much of a commitment.
Yeah.
But if that's interesting, and maybe we could even have some concurrent ones as well, like there might be some choices. So maybe we'll have Mallory put together some sort of what are those surveys called? Doodles or something like that?
Yeah.
Isn't there a doodle?
Doodle.
That'd
Or
be
a
awesome.
survey monkey?
Doodle's
I don't
good.
want to interrupt, but my computer has like 1 minute left, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
That's what happened!
No.
Oh no, he froze.
No, okay, Stan. Okay, so
There it is.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
we can hear you now, Linda.
Good.
Linda, you have 10 seconds.
Oh, I'll see everyone on Saturday.
Linda, did you hear my last question to you guys?
Yes, definitely more books. I
Yay.
wrote something in the chat, but definitely.
Okay, so what we'll do is because we could I have some ideas about books I just want to read because I haven't yet. Christy definitely wants to do one, Minds Made for Stories, which is much about reading and writing. And so we could put out some, and we could even start at, mid-April after the test is over so everyone feels like it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Yay.
Yay! All right.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. Yeah, we need to have a tutorial on this. Bye, you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks.